Before you spend $1 on your weak AC, answer one question. Is your car failing to make cold air, failing to move it to you, or failing to keep it in the cabin? That's all weak AC ever is, one of those three, and only one of them is actually expensive. Nail down which one you've got, and the fix is usually free in 10 minutes in the driveway. And the most common cause of all is the one nobody thinks to check. Let's get into it. No cold air at all? Start here. Everyone jumps straight to the compressor, and the compressor is $800 to $1,200, but it's almost never the first thing to actually fail. Two cheaper parts go first, and one of them quietly destroys the compressor while you ignore it. There's a part at the very front of your car doing the hardest job in the whole AC system, and you've probably never once looked at it. It's the condenser, sitting ahead of the radiator, and its entire job is dumping the heat your AC pulled out of the cabin back into the outside air. When it can't shed that heat, the whole system backs up and your vents go lukewarm no matter how hard the compressor works. And parked right up front, it catches every bug, leaf, and stone thrown at your car for years, until baked-on residue forms a crust that's slowly suffocating the system. And this is where it turns expensive. A choked condenser forces the compressor to run at full pressure, trying to make up the difference, and that constant overload is exactly what burns compressors out early. The cheap part you ignored kills the expensive one you were afraid of. The fix costs a bucket of water. Let the car cool, take a garden hose on medium pressure and rinse the condenser from the engine side outward so the debris leaves the way it came in. Soft brush for the stubborn stuff gently because those fins bend if you look at them wrong. 10 minutes and you may have just saved a 4-figure compressor. Then there's the failure you smell before you feel it. A damp, moldy stench when the AC kicks on means the evaporator is fouled. That's the part buried in the dash that actually makes the cold. And because it sits cold and wet every time you run the AC, mold colonizes it in the dark. That growth doesn't just stink, it coats the coil and chokes the airflow, so you lose cooling and pick up a smell at the same time. Shops want $200 and up here because reaching it often means pulling the dash apart. A foaming evaporator cleaner costs under $15 and comes with a nozzle built to snake through the vents. Push it deep into your biggest vent. Spray in short bursts with the blower on low. Let the foam dissolve the grime on the coil, then run the fan on high with the windows down to flush it out the drain. It won't match a full teardown, but for routine cleaning, it does the job you'd otherwise pay $200 for. And then there's the mistake almost everyone makes first. The air's not cold, so you grab a $40 refrigerant can and top it off. Stop. Your AC is a sealed loop. It does not burn through refrigerant. If you're low, it leaked, and pouring more in without finding that leak just buys a few cold weeks before you're right back here, poorer. Overcharging is worse. Too much refrigerant spikes the pressure and can wreck the compressor, and those cheap single-gauge cans make it dangerously easy to overshoot. If you're recharging every summer, you don't have a refrigerant problem. You have a leak, and a proper leak diagnosis, around $100 to $150, fixes it for good. The cold is there, but you can't feel it. Your AC might be making perfectly cold air right now, and you'd never know it, because somewhere between the part that makes the cold and the vent in your face, it's being strangled, and you blame the whole system when the system is fine. This is where the single most common cause of weak AC hides, and almost nobody checks it. Behind your dash is a little plastic flap called the blend door, and it decides how much air flows over the cold evaporator versus the hot heater core before it reaches your vents. A small motor called the actuator swings that flap when you turn the temperature dial. When that actuator's plastic gears strip out, the flap jams, and it tends to jam toward the heat side, which means your AC is making genuinely ice-cold air and then routing it straight across the hot heater core on the way to your face. Full cold setting, warm vents, and nothing wrong with the compressor at all. The diagnosis is free and simple. Start the car and slowly sweep the temperature dial from full cold to full hot while you listen at the center of the dash. A rapid clicking or knocking behind the dashboard is those actuator gears skipping teeth, and you've just diagnosed a several $100 quote for nothing. The other tell is one side of the car blowing cold while the other blows warm. On dual zone systems, that's a stuck actuator nearly every time. The part is often under $50 and lives behind the glove box on a lot of cars. Even if you hand it to a shop, walking in knowing it's the actuator is what stops you from walking out having paid for a compressor you never needed. The next one is the easiest win you'll ever get, and most people have never done it once. Behind your glove box sits a filter catching dust and pollen before it reaches your vents, and it clogs steadily and silently. Packed solid, your blower is shoving air through a brick of compacted gunk just to reach the dash, which wears the blower motor out early, a $300 to $500 repair all on its own. 5 minutes and $20 fixes it, against $50 to $70 at a shop. Drop the glove box, pinch the tabs, pull the filthy old filter, slide the new one in facing the same arrow. A lot of people feel the extra airflow the second they turn it on. And then there's the button you're almost certainly using wrong. With recirculation off, your AC keeps grabbing scorching outside air and chilling it from 95 degrees down, over and over, forever. Switch it on and it recools the already cool cabin air instead, like chilling water that's already cold, and the vents blow colder while you burn around 10% less fuel. But the timing is everything, and this is the part most people get backwards. Recirculation only helps once the cabin has stopped being an oven. Hit it the instant you drop into a baking car and you're just circulating the hottest air in the parking lot. And don't leave it on for hours with no fresh air, because trapped moisture in the evaporator feeds the exact mold and corrosion that ends in a brutal $900 evaporator job. Ventilate first, recirculate once it's cool, crack it back to fresh air now and then on a long drive. Strong cold air, but warm cabin. This is the frustrating one. Nothing in your AC system is broken. The cold gets made, moved, and delivered perfectly, and then it escapes, so the system never catches up and the compressor runs itself ragged, chasing a cabin that keeps bleeding cold. Two things cause it, and you're personally doing one of them. The first is the heat you let in before you've even pulled out of the driveway. A car in direct sun sails past 140 degrees inside, and slamming max AC into that furnace hands your system a fight it can't win from second one. 30 free seconds fixes it. Drop all 4 windows the moment you sit down and let that superheated air flood out, because it's far hotter than the air outside. Then roll up and switch on the AC. Now you're starting from 90 instead of 140. A windshield sunshade sounds like nothing, but it's worth a real 30 to 40 degrees after a few hours in a lot, which is that much less heat your AC has to fight every single trip. And once you're cool, stop living on max. Blasting the coldest, hardest setting all drive just grinds the compressor and drinks fuel without cooling any better once you're already comfortable. Bring it down on max, then ease back to hold it. The second one quietly beats every other fix on this list, and it has nothing to do with the AC unit at all. The rubber weather stripping around your doors, trunk, and sunroof dries out and shrinks over years of sun, and once it does, hot air pours in continuously with every window sealed shut. You're air conditioning a room with an invisible window cracked open, and the compressor can never cycle off because the cabin never actually reaches temperature. Test it for free, shut a sheet of paper in the closed door, and pull. If it slides out with no grip, that seal has failed. Rubber conditioner at $8 to $12 brings stiff but intact seals back to life, and genuinely cracked ones replaced for $15 to $40 a door in under 20 minutes with hand tools. Shops never raise it because it isn't technically an AC repair, even though it's costing you cold air on every drive. On an older car, this one can be the entire answer, the 30-second diagnosis. So before you hand anyone a dollar, run it through the 3 questions. Cold air at the vents but weak? That's airflow. Check the cabin filter and the recirculation button, both free. No cold air at all? Before anyone says the word compressor, sweep the temperature dial listening for that blend door click, rinse the condenser, and ask whether you've been topping off a slow leak all summer. Cold and strong at the vents but the cabin still won't cool? It's leaking out, and your door seals and sun load are the cause. Pin down which of the 3 you've got, and the answer is almost always a garden hose, a $20 filter, a clicking actuator, or a button you were using wrong, not the 4-figure repair the shop had already started writing up. Weak AC feels like a mystery, but strip it down and it's only ever 3 questions. Is the cold being made, moved, or kept? Every fix here answers one of them, and nearly all of them cost less than a single diagnostic fee. These are the things the techs quietly do in their own driveways, just not the ones they write on your invoice. Which of the 3 turned out to be yours? Tell me in the comments. And if you want to keep the whole system healthy for the long haul, the Reset Tricks video is the one to watch next. Until then, drive smart and stay cool.